This is the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mosen.
Great to be back here again, folks. I have, and I'm very excited to have Dr. Bell, CEO and founder at International Fitness Professionals Association today, sharing a little bit about health and wellness. I'm a big believer in that, and obviously financial fitness. So I do believe they go hand in hand. Dr. Bell, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on board. I know you're super busy. You have so much going on. Can you share a little bit about IFPA and all of the wonderful things that you have done?
I'd be glad to. The IFPA started a little over 22 years ago now. I used to teach for a lot of the other certification companies that were out there, and I just found them too academic in orientation. They like to talk a lot about theory and science without really having a lot of information that the practitioner needed, the precise knowledge, skills, and abilities that a practitioner would need in order to be safe and effective in either the gym environment or the sports conditioning environment, or a new scope of practice I've recently developed, the medical fitness aspect, where there's a lot of people out there, as you well know, that do not exercise with the frequency, intensity, time, or type of exercise needed to gain health benefits. So that would be a third scope of practice within the physical activity realm.
Right. We've chatted, and I absolutely love fitness and health and wellness, and you have done some amazing things. Dr. Bell, you've been appointed to the Florida Governor's Council in the obesity epidemic, appointed as co-chair for the American College of Anti-Aging Sports Medicine, board member of the American Academy of the Aging Medicine. I mean, it goes on and on. So what brought you into this field? Is it just the fascination, the love, the drive, the passion for fitness and health and wellness?
Well, I was the original 99-pound weakling. And I picked up my first book of exercise when I was 9 years old, the Marine Corps book on physical fitness. And it was mostly a calisthenic exercise, but it seemed after I read that book, I started teaching everybody around me how to exercise. And started weightlifting when I was 12, and various sports and exercise activities have always had my interest, and I've exercised my entire life. Speaking of exercising, I've seen your picture. Those out there in Radio Land have no idea that you yourself have sculpted your body into a true work of art. So I think you picked the wrong form. You should be on TV, not on the radio.
Well, I love radio, and we are starting this TV show, which I shared with you. I just wanted to share and see your thoughts. I really find the work that you've done is amazing. Competing for me was more about meeting people, the fun factor, and just seeing how far you can take your body. And it's quite remarkable. I mean, there's such a science behind it. I think you're a genius. You truly are. You truly have covered all of the bases. You've worked with, is it true, over 300,000? I'm sure there's more, with getting fitness folks out there certified with IFPA.
Last time I looked, we were right at about 320,000 people that we've certified worldwide.
And I mean, you're working with, the NPC, Olympic gold medal athletes and other Olympians, world champion athletes. And I mean, you've covered all of the bases. And I think that it's really critical that we are looking at children and obesity and leading healthy lives. Do you think that as a country we need to be more active, or just better diets?
It's absolutely essential. Our children are our future. And right now, with the lack of physical activity taking place in our children, if you think the $3 trillion plus in healthcare costs we have right now is a big number, just wait until all these obese children reach adulthood.
Right.
We're already seeing children developing chronic disorders that you normally don't see until the elderly population. You're seeing children now with heart disease that you normally would not see until someone was 60, 70 years old. You're seeing children with type 2 diabetes. That's an adult onset diabetes that normally people don't get until they're 60, 70 years old, but you're seeing it in children. The lack of physical activity for our kids is a national disgrace. If kids don't learn how to exercise as a child, when are they going to learn how to do it?
I know, and I think that just even moving and being active and not being so active with social media sometimes that takes away from the time spent with children, being busy and being involved in sports. And I think that what I've seen really is that we've come into this world where we're just in sort of the home watching TV, maybe bad nutrition or just not as much hands-on time in school to be a part of sports as well. So tell me a little bit as CEO of IFPA, you've traveled all over as well. So you've presented to countries all over the world.
Actually, I'm still feeling the effects. I just got back from Manila in the Philippines, so I'm still feeling some jet lag today.
Right.
Yes, I've had terrific opportunities to travel the globe and been to a bunch of different places and see a whole lot of different people. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that the culture is everywhere. The people are wonderful. We may have problems from time to time with governments, but the people in different countries around the globe are wonderful people. They roll out the red carpet for me and they treat me like I'm family. Mm-hmm. So it's something I enjoy a great deal. One more thing I want to mention about children, though.
Right.
Is that President Eisenhower in the 50s and 60s pushed the panic button because 50% of our military-age children could not pass the physical to enter the military.
Wow.
We're right now looking at numbers where less than 20% of our draft-age children could pass a military entrance exam. They are not physically capable of defending our nation. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking around the world today, I see much more danger out there than we've seen in decades. Mm-hmm. And, that's another thing that I'm very concerned about is if we had to go to war, a serious war,
right.
We don't have enough kids that could pass the physical to defend our nation.
Incredible. The IFPA is a VA, a Veterans Affairs approved, so that all of our servicemen and women and veterans can receive reimbursement for completing courses with IFPA. So,
right, the Veterans Affairs will reimburse anybody presently in the military or already a veteran out of the military. The VA will reimburse them for taking our courses. That is correct. Thank you for mentioning that.
That's fantastic because this is a huge thing for me. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I love this country. America is the greatest country in the world. I've traveled as well. You and I chatted about traveling the globe. And we do loans and financing for folks, our servicemen and women, and for the gratitude that we can't even show barely, but we can do that 100% financing. And so when I looked at the work that you're doing and what we do, it fits so well because I think your financial well-being goes hand in hand with health and wellness. There's 62% of us who are having sleepless nights, Dr. Bell, because of health and wellness issues and finances. It's incredible.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. When I was a kid, I was fascinated with ancient Greek history, and one of the concepts I learned about ancient Greece, the golden age of Greece, where we had so many brilliant men alive at one time, great philosophers, scientists, mathematicians, all alive in that brief span of time. Mm-hmm. And I think a large portion of it was the ancient Greeks had a concept they called the whole man concept. And they didn't believe a man was complete unless he developed himself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, artistically, and I would add today, financially. Right. Because having your finances in order is what gives you independence. Mm-hmm. If you're not financially healthy, you can't truly be independent. Your freedom to do what you want when you want to do it, to retire if you feel like it when you reach your retirement age, is going to be dependent on how well you conduct yourself financially.
It's true. And folks, and if there are questions, you can always reach us at 1-800-662-9550. Is there a contact number or email or website, Dr. Bell, that folks can reach out as well on the IFPA?
Our website is www.ifpa, which stands for International Fitness Professional Association, -fitness. The dash is right in the center of the line like a normal dash.com.
Great. And I do encourage folks. When I fell in love with fitness a long time ago and got partly certified, then got busy with other things. because I do believe that understanding how the body works, there's such a science behind it, can really make some remarkable changes in the way you look at things, life goals. I mean, I definitely think that you don't have to be a pro athlete, but you can actually be in a healthy state of mind, which will create greater relationships with family and friends, and even nutrition. Nutrition's a big thing when it comes to what we put in our bodies and how it can affect our moods, right, Dr. Bell?
Exercise and nutrition are really the only true medicine out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people complain all the time about all the different drugs they take and the side effects that the drugs create. And a lot of the drugs we have out there are meant to manage a disease, but they're not a cure. The medical fitness specialists that I was referring to later,
mm-hmm.
or just before, we have very specific exercise and nutrition prescriptions that are designed to be the treatment, care, and prevention of virtually every chronic disease, disability, and dysfunction. If you look at the current research, and this is an exercise physiology research, you know my PhDs are in exercise physiology.
Right.
So this is the exercise physiologists telling us. This is the medical journals that are telling us. The Circulation, the Journal for Cardiac Medicine, the doctors were complaining that none of the tests they were currently using were good predictors of whether their patients were going to die in a cardiac event. So they were hounding their medical association, you know, what is the best test that we can give out there? Mm-hmm. It wasn't the graded exercise max test. It wasn't blood profiles. It wasn't total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, HDLC. None of the blood panels that doctors were using were accurate. What they found was the most accurate test to determine the chance of their patient dying in a cardiac event mm-hmm. was their time in the 1 mile walk, jog, run test.
Wow. I mean,
any personal trainer can improve a patient's time in the 1 mile walk, jog, run test.
What do you think? Go ahead.
And and it will also, interestingly enough, that research also showed that by the time the trainer could get the patient to the point where they could run a mile
mm-hmm.
in 8 minutes or less, there was virtually no chance of them dying of a cardiac event.
Incredible.
And it goes on and on. The Journal of Endocrinology, they showed the only way to reverse type 2 diabetes was to increase muscle mass. Mm-hmm. Can we increase muscle mass? Of course we can. The Journal of Gerontology came out with their projections on longevity, and they came out with actual data. They followed 66,000 patients starting at age 65 till the moment of death. And what they used was a 4-meter stride rate test, just a simple, how fast could you walk 4 meters? Very simple test. They found the people with the slowest had a lifespan of about 3.5 years. They found that the people that were fastest could live 40 years or more. So you're looking at taking someone's lifespan, someone in that lowest sector,
mm-hmm.
and expanding their lifespan from 3.5 years to over 40 years. Who wouldn't want to do that? And we're talking about perfectly functional years. We're not talking about someone that's, you know, bedridden, frail, elderly, can't walk on their own or dress on their own. We're talking about functional human beings that can live a functional life until they're in their 90s and 100s. And speaking of that, the Journal of Gerontology also came up with data on master athletes. They showed data, master athletes that are still competing in their 80s and 90s and beyond, can score better in all 12 components of fitness than untrained 20 and 30-year-olds.
Incredible. I think that it is the whole health and wellness. When I competed in the NPC, what I noticed was just changing your diet and knowing how far your body could go. It changes everything, your mindset, and the ability to also function a lot quicker and faster. And I have to ask you questions about folks who are going through like quick weight loss. What do you think of that? You hear about those diets and, you know, the things that people are doing to accelerate rather than doing it the healthy way, I think.
Right. Well, first, actually, you mentioned twice about better emotional health as a result of exercise. Mm-hmm. And you reminded me, the Journal of Psychiatric Medicine came out with their report that the exercise and nutrition prescriptions were far more effective at treating depression, anxiety, mm-hmm. suicidal thoughts, multiple psychological disorders, far better than the psychotropic drugs that a psychiatrist typically uses. Now, if there's any doctor out there that abuses drugs, it's mm-hmm. psychiatrists. Mm-hmm. So you're finding that exercise was far better at improving mental and emotional state, the things you were talking about, than the drugs that they were taking. All right, and the second part of your question, I'm sorry, that was about diet.
Right.
Yeah, as far as the fast weight loss goes, the best research we have right now shows that if you calculate your energy balance, that's basically how your energy balance is throughout the day. So when you get up in the morning, you're at a deficit in energy balance, and that's why breakfast is such an important meal to bring you back into a positive balance. And throughout the day, your energy balance is going to cycle. You go for a hard workout, burn a lot of calories, you're going to be at a negative balance, you need to eat after your workout. Mm-hmm. As you go throughout the day, you burn off those calories, eventually you're going to get hungry, you're at a negative calorie balance, you need to eat. What the research shows, if you can keep your energy balance within 400 calories of zero, mm-hmm. it's going to be ideal. So for instance, you're mentioning someone that wants to lose weight. And one of the things we always have to educate people on is weight loss should never be your goal. Mm-hmm. Your goal should be fat loss.
Right.
There's nothing healthy about losing lean body tissue, which can come from your muscles, can come from your lungs, your kidneys, your heart, all your internal organs. So there's nothing healthy about weight loss. The goal should be fat loss. Mm-hmm. So if you can keep your energy balance between that zero level and minus 400 calories, all the weight loss will come from fat. Once you go below minus 400 calories at any point throughout the day, your body will start to go after lean body tissue, mm-hmm. muscle, internal organs. And again, that creates a very acidic environment, and research has shown us over and over again that if you can keep your body alkaline, you're not going to get any diseases. You're not going to get cancer. Cancer can't survive in an alkaline environment. But when you go through these rapid weight loss programs, the ketogenic diets that doctors like to brag about, you're always in an acidic state, and makes you very susceptible to inflammation and all the damage that can occur throughout your body because of that inflammation. Makes you susceptible to diseases, dysfunctions, makes you susceptible to cancers. Mm-hmm. So the rapid weight loss is extremely unhealthy, and I think probably what you were alluding to mm-hmm. is it's well known that it's not permanent. Right. Most of those people, like if you look at the statistics on the Atkins diet, for instance, the people that start the Atkins diet today, 1 year from today, they'll be 152% heavier than they are today.
Right. It's true. Yeah.
Because they lose all that weight rapidly. A lot of it is muscle mass, so therefore their metabolic rate drops dramatically. And then when they go back to normal eating, which everyone does eventually you can't starve yourself forever. Eventually, your biochemistry will kick into high gear and make you eat. And when they do, because their metabolism has been so depressed due to the loss of lean body tissues, they gain back all the weight they lost and then pounds more because their metabolism doesn't bounce back very rapidly. And virtually all of it is going to be fat.
Well, this is Dr. Bell, CEO, founder of International Fitness Professionals Association, and wise words, very, very helpful, especially with all of us who face challenges when it comes to health and wellness and doing it the right way. I do encourage folks to call us here at 1-800-662-9550 or reach out to Dr. Bell. Again, can you share your website and ways to get certified and learn a little bit more about health and wellness, Dr. Bell?
Thank you. I appreciate that. The website, again, is www.ifpa, for International Fitness Professional Association, -fitness.com. We have over 70 different certification courses there. I also have a blog that I routinely write articles. We also have our archive section that has all the Fitbit articles that I've written over the years. There's a ton of information there about sports conditioning, bodybuilding, nutrition, exercise, the medical fitness aspects that we've been talking about today. So there's a ton of information there. So, help yourself. There's a lot to be learned about how to treat your body and how to make sure you can optimize your body.
You are so not only well-spoken, not shocking at all, but you were selected as the lead speaker on fitness and nutrition at the U.S. Olympic and Pan American Coaches College. It's a rare honor shared only by 3 other individuals. Your IFP has worked with stars and celebrities and Olympic athletes, and so I really do encourage folks to look at this as a great source of getting your certification and certainly being able to continue and share the knowledge of fitness and wellness. We so very much need to make sure that we are living healthier lives. This whole thing with childhood obesity, it's interesting, Dr. Bell, but it has concerned me for a very long time, and it just baffles me that children that young are going through this. You know what I mean? Through these challenges.
It really is very scary, because when you look at the statistics, and I could rattle off tons of statistics on childhood obesity, but what you have to consider is when you're a full-grown adult and you get obese, it's very unhealthy. You set yourself up for all the different chronic diseases, disabilities, and dysfunctions that you see into old age, all your heart disease, all your type 2 diabetes, all your orthopedic injuries, psychological injuries, on and on and on and on. But what's much worse about a child that gets obese is that you have slowed the development of every physiological system in their body. So what that means is a child that is obese has basically no chance of maximizing their potential, not mentally, not emotionally, not physically, not spiritually, not artistically. And you've seen the statistics. Mm-hmm. An obese person has no chance of making the same amount of money in life as a lean, athletic person does. They don't get the promotions at work. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant. We're dealing with the is in the world. Right. And the fact is that obese individual is going to get passed over. And the fact of the matter is that the obese individual, the overweight individual, they're sick more often. They miss more work. They don't have the energy to complete the tasks that are assigned to them. And the reality is they don't progress very well in their profession or their career. So we're dooming our children to be basically second-class citizens. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
It is. It is unfortunate, and there's so much work to be done, and there is hope. And with folks like you who've done so much work and have given back and been a part of the community, and nationally, internationally, I do believe that this is something that we can overcome as a country. And certainly I'm so grateful that you could come on air with me today, Dr. Bell. Any last words?
It was my pleasure. I enjoyed talking to you. Anytime that someone's going to give me a soapbox that I could preach to people about trying to live a healthier, longer, fitter, happier life. And the reality is, if you're not healthy, you can't live a happy life.
Couldn't agree with you more. And we will have you back again, Dr. Bell. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.